Hey everyone, so I've had the G80 now for 1 year, and that year went by pretty quick. This has been a fantastic car, probably one of the best cars I've ever owned for several reasons, and I'm going to jump into those reasons right now. You know, this car has been a dream car of mine for a long time. I've always liked BMWs. When I was younger, I just could never afford them. You know, I worked on motorcycles for a long time, mainly BMWs, so I've always had a passion for BMW one way or the other. But like I said, I just could never afford a car like this, much less a base 3 Series. So last year in 2023, I was able to purchase this car. This is my 2023, those of you who have not followed me before, this is my 2023 Interlagos Blue individual. And this is a 50-yard edition M3, so just a 50th anniversary of M since 1972. So this has been an absolute dream car of mine, an absolute joy to drive. If you are new to the channel, I actually had a M3, a G80 on order. I put a deposit down for a G80 in March of 2022, I believe. And those of you who have followed me, you know that I bought an M340 and had that car for about a year. Drive it gray, love that car. Also one of my favorite colors. So I put a deposit down in early 2022 and I didn't get a G80 until spring of 2023. So a little over a year before I was able to get my hands on this car. I actually had an Isle of Man green spec orange Kalami interior with the carbon buckets on order, and it was taking forever. Those of you who have ordered a car and waited any longer than 6 months, you know, I was over a year. Luckily, my sales guy, good friend of mine over at Fields Winter Park, was able to give me a call and say, hey, I got this 50-yard edition, just came in. I think it was that day, hasn't even been cleaned or anything or inspected. And I came the next morning, took a look at it, and ended up buying it that night, I believe it was. So needless to say, I'm very grateful to be able to own a car like this, and it's a joy of mine to be able to share it with you guys who are on your way to getting an M3, you're waiting on an M3, or you've had 10 previously. Either way, these cars are absolute joy to drive. And if you are one of those who are waiting, in my opinion, it's totally worth it. So I'm not even gonna wait till the end of the video to tell you guys this, but I do not regret buying this car. There's no clickbait, there's no joking or stringing you guys along to the end to throw a curveball at you. I love this vehicle. So this is, if you're looking for any downsides, this is not the video to watch. Every car has its ups and downs. However, this one has very little downside. This car is absolutely a phenomenal car to drive comfortably, to drive spirited, take to the track. I mean, it just checks all the boxes for me personally, and I think a lot of other people as well. Exterior wise, styling, I love it. Super aggressive. One of my favorite is if you come to the rear. I think everyone who knows M cars, and especially M3s, you know that the M3 is known for having the big booty, right? Super wide, super aggressive hips, and it just really lets you know that this is an M3 in front of you when you come up in this car. Same goes for the front. When that front of the car is in your rear view, it's super menacing. A lot of buddies of mine will drive and get rollers and stuff, and you can just tell, man, like, wow, that's what my car looks like when someone's coming up on me. You know, it's really cool to see that. And yes, I know my grills are stock. I totally understand that. You don't have to remind me of that in the comments. Again, this has not bothered me. Wasn't a big deal to me when I first got the car, but like I mentioned, I think in my last video, I do have a grill picked out. I do have some other goodies coming for the front to spice it up. I just didn't want to jump into anything that was not exactly what I wanted, if that makes sense. So, but it is coming, not because I hated the front, just because I found something that a little bit better. And I do agree that a lot of the aftermarket stuff for the front car looks, or the front of these cars look really, really good. So that's coming shortly. Front splitter came stock on the 50-yard edition. I did not add that, but it is in performance, OEM. And then the trunk spoiler, also in performance, carbon fiber with the 50-yard edition. And then the in performance carbon wrapped titanium tips also came with the car for the 50-yard edition. So from what I've done to the car, I've got the diffuser, carbon fiber, performance style. That's from Keys Motorsports. I've got R44 rear side splitters that I think look really, really good and really hunker the car down in the rear and give it a super aggressive look. TLG mud flaps, rocking the TLGs. These, for a simple product and simple install, these things have done the job. I highly recommend those, I really do. The wheels also, these are the, I believe the 826Ms, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the matte Orbit Gray that I believe only came with the 50R edition, or was only optioned with this car. And I think it looks phenomenal, especially with the color of the blue. I've seen it with a couple other cars. It looks good, but I haven't changed the wheels yet because I personally think that these look really good with this car. Of course, I'm rocking ECS tuning 12.5mm spacers all the way around to give it the stance that I personally like. It is flush, it is semi-aggressive, but it's still usable. I have no rubbing. Took me a while to do that. If you didn't see those previous videos, I'll link them right here. But so I'm rocking ECS tuning 12mm spacers. I've also got Motorsport hardware stud conversion kit. I went from a 14.125 to a 14.1.5 thread to make it a little more durable for the long haul. Some more keys carbon right here. I like the, this is actually an overlay. It's a dry carbon 2x2, but it's an overlay. The stock underneath that was just a very dull, almost like that kind of plastic right there, and it just didn't look good. But I wasn't too big of a fan of the full carbon replacement because a lot of my car is still gloss. I like the gloss look to it. So that's why I kind of did the overlay. I think it looks really good. If you have not seen my engine bay video, I'll link that right here as well. I just did a full outline of everything under the hood. In short, it's a lot of carbon fiber and a lot of titanium. I absolutely love this bay. The S58 is a monster engine, and I thought I just could not do it justice by leaving it stock with all the dull, kind of cheap welded metal and plastic. I shouldn't say it was cheap because the car in stock form is very capable. It just didn't look like it should have. I'll just put it that way, in my opinion. So that's the exterior. Of course, carbon fiber roof. 50R edition only was opted with the carbon fiber roof. I don't think it had the sun roof option. Either way, the car I had on order was already optioned with the carbon roof anyways, so it does not matter. So moving into the interior, as you can see, Edition 50 Yara BMW M, I believe usually just says M Performance or BMW M or M3. I'm not sure, they change them every generation or what it says on the regular. Maybe it says M3 Competition, I think is what it says. These do have the sports seats. What I do love is I've got red stitching down here on the bottom bolstering and then the nice blue stitching on the top bolstering as well. Of course, the illuminated M3 badge and the M tricolor on the headrests, which is really, really cool that came with this car. I think the Heritage Edition F82, I think had that on there. If I'm wrong, let me know, but not many cars have that, so I do love that look. Of course, the stock with the M-colored stitching on the steering wheel and carbon fiber option there, carbon fiber paddles, more to come on the steering wheel, a little foreshadowing there. I do have the M Performance armrest, which I think looks phenomenal. And one reason, for those of you that have seen my previous videos, I did a lot of the stuff with the Alcantara and carbon fiber on the interior of the car because it doesn't have bucket seats. This car didn't particularly, and it's black. The only interior color that was optioned, or you could option, I guess you could say, with this 50th anniversary M3 was black. There's no colored options, right? Actually, I think the only thing you could option if you bought this car new is, what was it? Carbon ceramic brakes, carbon bucket seats, and I think that's it. Again, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I think carbon brakes, carbon bucket seats, and that's it. Everything else was how it was with the special edition colors and all that stuff. So anyways, all black interior. So I thought it would look really good to add a lot of the Alcantara with M Performance M stitching. And of course, these knee pads are all Alcantara as well. The stock ones are really small, kind of cheap plastic. So those look really good, really aggressive, and they're called knee pads, just, you know, obviously self-explanatory there. Carbon fiber shifter cover right there. And I think that looks really, really good. If you come to the rear, I've got the M Performance with the Alcantara seats as well. And these are BMW M Performance, these are not aftermarket. If I can get it to focus, you can see right there. And again, the whole interior is black, so all of this right here looked really good. If my car had a color, like an orange or yellow or blue, all of these parts may or may not have looked good. But because, like I said, it was black, all that fit really, really nicely, so I kind of use that to my advantage. And of course, I've got the OEM fire extinguisher from OEM Extinguishers. Those guys are awesome. If you have not seen that install video, I will link it right here. Reach out to Tyler to grab yours. He has it for a lot of models. He's a good guy and a good company, and the product is fantastic. Better to be safe than sorry. Nothing else to say about that.
And that's all I have to say about that.
So in case you're wondering, the car does have just over 6,000 miles on the car. So I do drive it. I do not daily drive this. I work from home, so I don't drive this to an office, I guess you could say. I know a lot of guys have a ton of miles on their cars. Some guys have none. This is not a garage queen. I do drive this car. It just, like I say, I don't daily drive the car. So when I drive it, it's intentionally going to do something, to meet up, go to dinner, content, go to a show, whatever it is. So that's how the car is used. In fact, this morning, my wife and my 1-year-old son, we went to Windermere Cars and Coffee here in Central Florida, and I was able to get the car seat in the rear. So, and what I do, for those of you who have or thinking about having kids, what I do, because if you've not experienced with car seats, I'll just touch on this really quick because I didn't know. If you put it in one of these two seats, car seats angle back this way when the kid's really young. It's rear facing, and it's really hard for whichever person is in that seat for the front to be comfortable because the whole seat has to lean up. So it's not a comfortable position. So one person's kind of left sitting straight up, if that makes sense. Every car has anchor points legally for car seats. The M3 is cool because the two middle ones, I can actually put the car seat in the middle and use the two middle ones and have the car seat kind of lean up in between the seats. And that is a game changer because then both mom and dad are comfortable. So it's really cool. Car is super usable, and I'm able to pop the trunk, which is automatic on these cars. Some people think it's overkill. Whatever, man, it's cool. When your hands are full, it's nice. You know, it's still fast. It doesn't, the extra motors doesn't make a difference in how fast it is. Come on. But I got a full stroller, broke it down in there, and still had other stuff in there. So car is absolutely usable. It is a rocket ship. This car is stock, for those that don't know. As far as tune goes, I mean, I don't have any flash tune, any piggybacks, nothing is running on the car at this time. So I do have the PSI mid pipe on the car. If you didn't see that review, I'll link it right here for you. Dähler valve controller, and the Dähler valve controller, I'll link that video here if you did not see that. I've done a lot of installs on this car, and the Dinan intake as well, also install video. I'll link all this below for you guys. Everything I'm talking about, if I've done an install for it, I'll link the video down below, and any part as well that I've done, modded myself, whatever, I'll link all that down below for you guys as well. I do plan on bumping the power up on this car. It will be a full flash tune, and there will be some substantial power increases. It won't be stock tune forever. For those of you that are wondering, like, why do you have this kind of car? You put this much money and time into it and leave it stock. Well, some people don't care. I mean, it's all-wheel drive, 500 horsepower. It's still fast, but yeah, I mean, I think I want to go a little bit more. So I will put a flash tune on it. More of that to follow. The reason I'm not doing it right now is there may or may not be a new M3 coming to the legacy-driven stable. I'm not going to release anything. I'm working a deal right now, just in case it falls through. I don't want to put something out in the universe, but there'll be another car, hopefully, coming to the channel that'll have a ton of content for you guys as well. And I think you guys will be pretty happy as to what car that is. But with all that being said, guys, again, 1 year of the car, my BMW G80 M3, 100% recommend it. I absolutely love it. And if there was something that I really hated about it, I would let you guys know. I'm not just a totally oblivious to the negatives of any car. It's just, to me, it's that good. I mean, you can find the fault in anything, right? It could be the best car in the world, and someone could say, I hate 10 things about it. But I'll be honest with you, for my usability, my drivability, it's 95% street use, 5% track use. That's my personal, what I do with the car. That might change down the road, but for the past year, that's what it's been. and the car has done that absolutely flawlessly. I absolutely love it. I'm looking forward to another year. This car is not going anywhere. There's a ton of content to follow. The build is just getting started. It really is. I've got a lot more to come. Like I said, power's gonna up, and we're gonna do some big performance mods, take it to the track, so a lot more content for you guys to follow this build. But in the meantime, like I said, there might be another car added to this, so it might just get a little switched up for a while. Things might get a little spicy. So with that being said, I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, consider it. A lot more content to follow with this and more cars. I've said before, my goal with this channel is to have every generation of M3, and that may be coming true here pretty soon as far as the next iteration M3. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.